Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. If you have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee together, go ahead and do that now, as this will be a lengthy discussion. We've got a lot to talk about, guys. We have multiple price increases in the grocery stores, prices that are going to be going up here, set to skyrocket here in the fall of 2025. And some disturbing empty shelves that we need to discuss. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I gotta tell you, I was not looking forward to doing this video. I hate being the bearer of bad news, but we have to talk about these things. We have to, because it's getting absolutely absurd. A lot of you guys who have been saying for years that it was only going to get worse. I used to be optimistic, guys. I used to be that guy who was like, you know what? They'll come down. Things will balance out. Very small paces of balance have been in the conversation of over the last couple years with different price increases in the grocery stores. Now, as of late, you guys know that I've been trying to just point out the sales, but we have to point out the other things as well, because it's getting ugly, guys. It is getting bad. Beef prices are done. They are done. Now, I went to Kroger today. That video will be out tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and I recommend you guys check it out because it is eye-opening. It is very eye-opening of what's to come. I've always used Kroger as a balance of what is to come and what is already here. And when we start seeing those inconvenience stickers pop up, we know that there's a possibility of shortages in a lot of things. I saw a lot of things missing today. And not just a one piece or something that is there but maybe not coming in. We saw some gaping holes in a lot of things that you guys have been talking about on the channel. And that is kind of what I want to discuss first before we get into any more of the price increases, because these things kind of go hand in hand. Okay, if we start seeing shortages of products, that can mean only a few things. One, they're not getting the products to make said product, or they may fear that paying the extra price and then having to raise their price in the grocery stores is going to cause you to not want to buy. And it may not be worth some companies to bring said products into the store anymore. And this could play into a lot of the coffee rants that we've gone into over the last few days. We were talking about job losses with General Mills, which looks like it's going to happen next summer. 3 plants closing in Missouri. We talked about this. But I guess it all kind of culminates into what is a company willing to do and how much are they willing to put out, right, in order to make their money back on it. I think it's something as to where it's not about making a lot of money at first. It's about making your money back and then making money in the future. That's any business that decides to take on a new brand or a new flavor of things. You know, they may think, oh, well, this pumpkin spice has got to sell. Look at the numbers of Starbucks, right? Look at the Starbucks numbers of pumpkin spice coffee. Well, that might not be the same if like, you know, McDonald's decided to put theirs out there, pumpkin. You know, they may know that, hey, you know, let's not do much of this. Let's not make it into a big thing, even if we sell a lot, because our numbers are never going to look like what Starbucks does. That's just an example, but that's kind of what we're seeing. This is what we've been talking about, different flavors of things, certain things going away. A lot of you guys have been commenting on this stuff. Today at Kroger was a real eye-opener. A lot of missing things. I don't know what's going on with carrots. I don't know I'm just going to say that. I'm going to spoil some of tomorrow's video in this video, but we have to talk about it. I didn't talk about it enough in tomorrow's video, so we need to talk about it now. But I don't know what's going on with carrots. There is massive shortages on carrots. Again, this happened a couple years ago when we were dealing with the empty shelves in the grocery stores. Now, I mean, they still have some, but the other thing that a lot of us fear today, because a lot of us like stocking up on these sales. If you've come to my channel, chances are you've heard me say once or twice or 1,000,000 times, stock up on the sales as you see them within the means of your budget so that you're not paying these exuberant prices, these high prices in the future. Well, the future is here, guys, and it's not only getting uglier. We've seen things such as Dole fruit, right? Let's just use a simple example. I saw a major, after another major price increase, they went from $3.19 to $3.49, and now another 20 cents. Now $3.69 regular price, blinded by the sale because they're on sale at Kroger for $2.99, which is better than the $3.19 regular price. Will we ever see them for $2.49 again? I'm talking about the little Dole fruit cups, the 4-packs, which I know a lot of our viewers buy. Now, the things that I worry about most is different ingredients and spices and things like this. We saw where Kroger flour, which I've talked about a lot, and I talk about it again in tomorrow's video, how it went up to $3.29 for a 5-pound bag. Now, you may think to yourself, well, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot. And for the everyday person, it may not be. However, what I'm looking at are companies that are buying up tens of thousands of pounds of flour that are now realizing that what they're going to have to pay for it now is going to be a lot more. Therefore, you know, let's see, what products have flour in them? Those things are going to be going up in price. We're seeing it. We are seeing it. That could be why we've been seeing a lot of prices in bread go up lately. Some over $5 a loaf. And I'm not talking about the fancy breads. I'm talking about breads that are fairly cheap to make. I know some of you are going to be putting down in the comments, make your own bread. I agree with you. Make your own. If you know, not only is it going to be way cheaper, but it's good for you. It's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. Most of you guys know on the channel, and I know I don't talk about it enough, but me and Jessica, we are smart buyers. A lot of people call it prepping. A lot of people call it stocking up. We're smart buyers. You know, we don't, well, you know, I was going to say we don't go crazy. Sometimes we do. When we see things like this, guys, we stock up. We stock up on a lot of the things that we know we're going to use in the future because we know this. We know that the prices of things that are going up like sugar, baking items, spices especially. Spices are about to skyrocket. We're seeing inconvenience stickers on a lot of different spices, and I have gotten a bunch of emails from you guys and a lot of comments down in the videos that spices have not only gone up in price in a lot of different stores, maybe not the ones I go over here, okay, like Kroger, they're all the same prices for now, but we've seen where, well, Kroger has gone up in some, like some of their organic spices and stuff like that, but the cheapest ones are still $1.25. The cheapest ones at Walmart are $1.24, but we look at how fast those spices at Walmart went up. Now, salt is becoming an issue. We've gotten a lot of comments from you guys on shortages of salt. You know, as I always say, and most of you say down in the comments, the most plentiful mineral on earth. How does this happen? Well, there's a lot of things that go into salt, right, when it comes to prepared meals. A lot of sodium, a lot of salt that goes into different prepared meals, soups, these kind of things. This is another thing that's going to cause prices to go up. Now, I'm not going to lie, I about hit the ground when I saw some of the beef prices today. I saw a 3.1 pound roast for $38. That's why we point the sales out, guys. That is unheard of. That is insane. What's even more insane is that ribeyes that looked pitiful looking ribeyes, choice, right? Not even the premium. You guys know how they were $18.99 a pound? $20.99 a pound. $20.99 a pound. It is cheaper now for me to go to Longhorn, get me a big steak meal. I think it's like $26, maybe $28, but you get all the fixings. You get a potato, you get a drink. I get water with lemon, but anyway, you know, for around $28, you're getting the potato, you're getting the service. You don't even have to cook it. You know it's going to be delicious. $28. So for an extra, because I don't buy a steak that's less than a pound. I usually get a pound steak, right? And then me and Jess, I'll cut it myself because, you know, they want to charge a fortune, you know, most stores don't even cut them for you anymore. I think Meijer still does. But don't quote me on that because things change every 30 minutes. Prices could be going up as we're having this conversation. You know, there's a lot of confusing things going on too. A lot of these stores are pulling this confusion, trickery. You know, these digital stickers at Kroger, guys, I do not like them. It's one thing with the produce where you got the big sticker, It's another thing like when you're looking at Campbell's soups and they're that big and I can't even read them. I can't even read them. And now on like, I noticed with certain things, like even when I was looking at some of the baby items today, because there was a big sale. I always like to point out the things, for our new families and stuff. They're this big. You can't even tell on camera. Like I zoom in to where it's like it looks big. It's not. It's like it's that big. It's that big. I can't even read it. I can't even read it. And not even that, but the color coding on it. It ended up being, and I'm saying this now because there might be some confusion toward the end of tomorrow's video. I tried to edit it in a way to where it makes sense, but they misworded things. That specific sale is a save $10 when you buy two. Like, I guess you can buy multiples of two, but the way they worded on that little digital sticker says two or more. Well, that makes me think that I can go two or more, like 3 or 4 or 5 or odd numbers, right? 7 and get the 5. No, that's not what it says on the big sign. But on their little digital sticker thing, it says 2 or more. And they're not going to give it to you for that because there's signs, big signs all over that say 2 participating items. It's a good deal. It really is. But a lot of those diapers that I was looking at today, I thought were on the buy 5 or more, save $1 each deal because it is the same black color in the sale. And I'm looking down the aisle, I'm like, where is the buy 2 products? Because I knew that those were on there to save $5 on each of them. Well, that's what it is. If you zoom in with the best magnifying glass that you can find, you will see that it does say 2. But it's like we have to have this color coded differently because I can't. It just hurts my brain. I had such a headache after leaving Kroger today, guys. I was frustrated. I cooled down. I never show it on. I try not to show it on film, but it was very frustrating. Pan oil, cooking oil, gone. I know I pointed out that it was low last week. It is gone. We're seeing the inconvenience stickers come back. Cottage cheese. A lot of you guys were talking about cottage cheese. Now, we have cottage cheese. I did find some, and there is some on sale, but it looks like there's a lot of Daisy cottage cheese. This was an issue a couple years ago as well. Maybe a little longer. Because if you've been on the channel for a long time, I was covering sour cream and cottage cheese for the longest time, where places like Meijer, we would still find some at Kroger, far and few between, but places like Meijer, even Aldi didn't have any. Some of you guys have been talking about yogurt as well. I didn't notice any shortages of yogurt at Kroger today, but if you are, make sure you let us know what store. I know one of you guys said Aldi, but we got a few comments on different yogurt. Okay, and then somebody else mentioned yogurt with flavors, that you're finding less and less flavors, kind of what we were talking about the other day. With these companies, if they're not making money on it, why keep selling it? I mean, I understand that. But they're spending more money to open up more machines, right? That kind of tells me, like, okay, you're trying something new. You think this might make you money in the future. Now you're realizing that doesn't work. The best thing that I saw today, guys, I mean, yeah, there are some deals at Kroger. There always are. If you buy the sales, that you can wait on the things that you may need, right? Because that's always the problem. If you write a list down with 10 items and you go to Kroger or any grocery store for that matter, your luck is going to be the same as mine. All those 10 items aren't going to be on sale and they're going to be ridiculously overpriced. I quit writing lists like that years ago. I did because it's worthless. It's like I go to the store and I have a just idea of what we're going to get. And even if I do have a list, I'm not paying $4.69 for a thing of Ritz crackers. That is why I stock up when they're on sale for $1.99. Those Nature Valley bars, I'm good for like 2 years. I don't need any more. Campbell's soup, all the soups you can think of that we've been stocking up on for years, I'm good. We have plenty. I still have some that were when I got them for $1 a can. Back before Sam's Club, when they had them for $9, and the dates are still great. Well stacked. Well janged in to where we don't have much space, but we utilize the space that we do have very well. And we're coming back to that, guys. Also, while I'm saying that, I know some of you guys have been talking about prepping and stuff like that, and putting things, making sure you rotate your items. I thought it'd be a good idea to re-mention that because of these times, because of the way things have been. I've never forgotten. I'll never forget of what happened a few years ago. I'm sure none of us will. So it's important that we're reminded that when we start seeing these kind of things like different shortages, empty shelves, missing items, whatever you want to call it, and this crazy spike in prices, because it is a domino effect. It's affecting everything. And that's why I talk about spices and flour and sugar and baking items, because you're not the only one paying more for them at the grocery store. These companies are paying a lot more, maybe getting a better deal than we are, of course, but they're still paying a lot more to get their product out. They're not going to lose money. They're not going to take the chance and lose money. The one thing that's really been getting me too on a lot of these different prices has been coffee. Now today I saw, this will be the last thing I spoil, but I did see something interesting. I saw where those Folgers containers, the medium-sized cans like Colombian and some of the other ones, where they were $16.99 at Kroger. Well, today they have a big, beautiful sticker, digital sticker that says everyday low price, $14.99. That's not the sale. That is the regular price now. And I do talk about this a little bit in tomorrow's video, and I had to take a minute and breathe because I was pretty frustrated by it. And you think, damn, why would you be frustrated by prices dropping? I'm not for that reason. I'm PO'd by it because they knew this. These companies know this. We have talked about this in the past, where it's like they're going to raise something up to such a high price, nobody's going to buy it. They know you're not going to buy it. They know you're going to wait for that to be on sale for $8.99. And then they realize the thing is, and I don't blame Kroger for this. I don't blame any one person. There's a lot of blame to go around for all of it, okay? Whether that's greed or this or that or whatever. But after a couple months of you looking at those prices, you have looked at those prices and you're like, I will never pay $16.99 for Folgers. I'm going to pause here and take a little sip of coffee. Okay. Got time to think about that? Okay, good. Now, when you go and you look at those Folgers prices and you see them for $14.99, you're like, dang, that really dropped in price. Now they're banking on you thinking that very same thing, and that I better buy up these ones for $14.99 because I don't want to get stuck paying $16.99. They may not have a sale on these anymore. It's all, you could call it smart advertising. You can call it, hey, they think we're all idiots, right? And I'm not saying anybody's an idiot, okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the trickery in all this is very slick. I've always been very aware of sales and advertising and getting people to buy things. That is very smart. They knew you weren't going to pay $16.99. I'm waiting for Cafe Bustelo to crash or go out of business. If they think that they're selling any of those party-sized containers for $26, first of all, I just, out of principle, even if I drank Cafe Bustelo all the time, I would not pay that. For something that was $17.99 not that long ago, now $25.99? Nah, get out of here with that. Even the Kroger coffees, okay? The Kroger, I know I said the Folgers was going to be the last one, but, coffee, we got to talk about it. It's crazy. Now, Kroger coffee went up to $13.99, regular price. Well, they just dropped the Folgers, right? Okay, so it's on the buy five or more for $12.99. It's still not worth it. That's the craziest, highest sale of Kroger coffee. I don't even know if Kroger cares if they sell that. They almost probably want you to buy the Folgers more than even their own, because it's costing them next to nothing in-house, right? Making their own product, doing their own product, and selling it for a ridiculous amount of money at $13.99, on sale for $12.99. What if they dropped it down to $11.99? Let's keep an eye on that, huh? If they drop it down to $11.99, would you go back to buying your big cans of Kroger coffee? I was done with them when they raised it up to $9.99. Keep in mind, four, maybe 5 years ago, this same coffee was $4.99. $4.99, and some of them have shrinkflated. I remember when they went up to $5.99, a lot of our viewers were going crazy. Not that long ago. Not that long ago. It has almost tripled in price since that day. Now, I'm not going to go all the way back to the dark times, okay, of 5 years ago. But it wasn't at 5 years ago when this all started hitting the fan. None of this started until a little after 2021. These companies didn't know what to do. They knew that they needed to get the product out there. The biggest concern with everybody was freaking toilet paper. And me and Jess were sitting there saying, what, are you going to eat toilet paper? You got to shower if it gets that bad. Everybody's in there buying toilet paper and wiping out the toilet paper. And at that time, I'm buying up Campbell's soups for $1 a can or less. Things that I could prepare. Things that I could make sure. I was buying batteries and candles and emergency kits. You know, I stocked up before 2021 hit. I wasn't 100% sure, but I had a good feeling. I had a good gut feeling that prices were going to start getting crazy because I know how these things work. I've known for a long time. When you start seeing changes in advertising, when you start seeing anything in stores, not just stores, anything, anywhere, when you see advertising changes, those advertising changes cost them a lot of money. And they're going to put that back on the consumer. Or whoever. I'm not just blaming grocery stores. It is something that has been going on for years and years and years. Advertising, something to get your eyes to look at this. I spent a lot of time today looking at those Pampers diapers because I couldn't figure out why that wasn't on the sale that they had the big signs were. Thing is that it was on that sale. I spent way too much time. I kind of felt like I was at Dollar Tree trying to scan every product that wasn't the right price. I was getting frustrated. All these stores need to kind of get it together. Okay, I understand doing the digital stickers and all that. It's a lot cheaper for you in the long run. Probably cost you a fortune to do this initially, so I'm assuming it's going to be this way for good. However, I may need to change my contacts more periodically because I'm struggling to read those little tiny ones. I'm almost just going to skip those aisles. Maybe I'll just buy a toothbrush somewhere else. Joking aside, it's still frustrating. It's hard to see. Try looking at the regular. Even if I'm not going over different things in the stores to try and help save you money, I know the prices. We do this to try and help save our family and friends and you guys money. We know going in. I know what I'm getting. I know what the prices are going to be. I do the math in seconds. I am very good at math. Very good. And just a lot of my family say I don't give myself enough credit for that. I don't need to. I've always been a straight A student in math. Always. Numbers have always made sense to me. And it's not that I've ever cheated, but I have an eidetic memory when it comes to like a photographic memory. I have a bit of a memory for all you new viewers. I have talked about it a little bit before, but I can remember prices from what they were years ago. Some of you guys have also said, asking if I could do like maybe clips from older videos to what prices were a few years ago and then show like maybe today. I don't know. That sounds like an awful lot of work. I do these videos every day, so the prices were terrible. If you want to see what they were years ago, scroll back 2,000 videos. I've done a lot of videos. But I mean, maybe the easiest way to do it would just be to just go into my video playlist. Not on a playlist, just videos. Click on videos and then just keep scrolling up until you get back to 2020 or 2021. And then you have an entire video documentary of everything that has happened since the pandemic up till today. I have documented everything, and I've documented it not only for you guys, but for me as well. I do go back and I look at some of the video clips and everything, and I am just shocked. I remember some of my comments to you guys like, no, prices ain't gonna double. They have, and worse, and I apologize. I was wrong, and I'm never too proud to admit when I'm wrong. As a matter of fact, I want to be wrong. Not in that case. But I mean, like, if I say something it's something that is going to get crazy or something more expensive and stuff like that, if I'm wrong, good. I've always said that it's better to get it now, because people say, I hear it all the time. People say, I don't need this, or I don't need all this extra stuff, and then this, and then here's years later, and I'm not gonna say any names, but years later, the same people are on here saying, I wish I'd have listened. I wish I would have done this back then. And you know what? Who knows what was gonna happen? Right? Who knows what was gonna happen? We didn't know. Right? You didn't know. I didn't know. We didn't know it was gonna be this bad. We didn't know here in 2020, almost into 2026, how bad these grocery prices were. And one thing, I'm just going to say, I don't ever talk about politics on the channel. Okay? But and I know there are a lot of different things with different situations and stuff that could be raising prices. These prices were going up regardless. All they needed was an excuse. All they needed was a reason. There were companies that were actually blaming shortages of toilet paper to raise their prices on chips and canned goods and these kind of things. I'm like, really? Really? There were companies that were literally blaming it on that. I don't know. Did they have to pay more to find toilet paper for their companies, for their employees? Was that the reason? People don't need a reason anymore, guys. This is why I bring back talking about price increases on spices and cooking goods and stuff like this and cooking oils. Because when they come back in, what happens almost, not every time, but almost every time, the prices go up. Was there really a shortage? Did it cost you more? Or were you just doing different advertising? We see that a lot with advertising changes too. And if it comes back and the advertising looks a little brighter, well, chances are the prices have gone up. If you do like Kroger did, like on their 48-ounce things of cooking oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, they dumbed it down a little. It's not as pretty looking, right? It's as basic as really you can get, but the prices are still the same. Still $3.99 for a 48-ounce container of vegetable oil. It's been that for a couple of years. Now, we haven't seen many sales on it. We haven't seen many deals, but that is what we talk about. And it's like, well, even maybe, I don't know. Because I was about to say, well, maybe they can't put a sale on it. Of course they can. But they're doing something to keep the numbers down on that to where they don't raise the prices if the numbers don't work out in another direction. I've been seeing Kroger and some other stores, not as good as Kroger does though, but Kroger's been putting out a lot of different holiday items early. They've been putting out like stovetop, all the fixins, everything, the French's fried onions, even their own version, all this stuff kind of like in the middle of the store. Some of it's on sale, some of it isn't. Some of it will be going on sale. I remember last year we didn't see the Kroger oils on sale. They stayed the same price. It was like they had sales on Crisco, if you remember last year. They had sales on Crisco vegetable oil that was $4. It was 2 for $8, right? But you didn't have to buy 2. Just use your Kroger Plus card, you got 1 for $4. Now, arguably still not really as good of a deal as Kroger. I know some of you swear by Crisco, but Crisco had shrunk in size a couple years ago down to 40 ounces. Well, it used to be 40 ounces and $6.49. Those prices have come down since then. Why? Nobody's buying it. That's why Folgers came down. Or is it? Or is it? Or was that just a joke? Is $14.99 going to be the regular price now? Because it needs to come down a lot more than that to make people still want to pay those kind of prices. I don't think people were paying $12.99 for it. But you still have that sale for $8.99 on a digital coupon every now and then. We're not finding it for $5.99 or $6.99 anymore, that's for sure. How many sales have you guys seen on beef at all? Any. And then when you do see a sale on it, it's like sirloin, which is fine. But sirloin for $9.99 a pound on sale, $10.99 a pound on sale. I mean, that's pretty high for sirloin. That's a cheap cut of meat. Unless you're getting like the top petite sirloin that's, tender, But it's no ribeye. It's no T-bone. It's no porterhouse. Not in my book, anyway. I need one of them big cowboy ribeyes from Sam's Club. I have still never made one of those. I need to get I don't know. I need to make one of those sometimes. I need some good recipes to cook or maybe grill or smoke or something. One of them big cowboy ribeyes. I know they're expensive. Still not as expensive per pound as the regular prices of ribeyes, like the regular cut ribeyes, it seems, which is kind of funny. Is it because it's less work? Oh, I remember when Walmart was doing that. I don't know if they still are. I mean, their prices are so high on meat right now, you can't even tell. But I remember when Walmart was actually putting on the stickers, like on the packaging, like there was extra, I forget exactly, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it was like, there was extra work put into this. So this is why this costs more. Like there was an explanation of why this one costs more. And it wasn't even done in-house. It was done somewhere else. I don't know. Guys, prices are going through the roof. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for that. I am sorry if it's upsetting for some people. Keep your eyes out on the shortages. We need to keep our eyes out on things that are disappearing.